Hello everyone, it's me, Butterfly Spirit, aka Michelle. So guys, today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking today about chaos, or what is commonly referred to as negative energy. When I'm talking about negative energy or chaos, what I mean is that this is basically a whole bunch of negative energy that you have coming at you, okay? And sometimes the negative energy can be coming from outside forces, and sometimes it could be coming from inside of you. Negativity is something that can come from you having emotions like guilt, sadness, shame, any type of bad emotion. Even grief could be an emotion that can cause you to be filled with this energy that you just don't feel like you can, you can sit still and you can be at peace. Okay, I'm someone who knows about this because I have experience with dealing with negative energy. And the reason is because I find myself having a lot of negative thoughts, and these negative thoughts have basically been programmed into me because of how I grew up. And basically the reason is, like when I start off as a kid, the first example that I saw of, that caused me to think negatively about people, things, and the environment is because, I saw a friend of mine that was a little girl. We were in preschool, and I saw this boy hit my best friend. And, he hit her because he thought it was okay. Now, I don't know what my friend's living situation was or anything like that, but he thought it was okay to hit a girl and to hit her in a violent manner and stuff like that. And so what I did is that I said, you can't do that to my friend, and I hit him back, so to speak. And, I hit him back with a Tonka truck, actually. Tonka truck, like one of those, I think it was like a fire truck or something, and I hit him with it because I didn't like him doing that to my friend. I saw other experiences as I've grown up too, that have caused me to think negatively of things, because in our society there are a lot of negative influences, especially because I grew up in Christianity. So in Christianity, you're told things like, you know, you're you're not shit, you're not going to be shit, you're not any better than anybody else, and you were told that you can't do this, you can't do that, and stuff like that. I know people try to paint a nice little picture of Christianity like it is helpful and it's loving and everything, but there are some people, who are involved in Christianity and it is a prison to them, you know. Now, luckily for me, I wasn't involved in a church or anything like that heavily where I had to go every single Sunday, but there are people who do go, and they hear this repeatedly that, they're not nothing and they're never going to be nothing, and when people hear these things, that makes people think that they're never going to amount to anything. And that's what a lot of kids hear from their parents. You're not going to amount to anything, and kids also get negative energy from their parents. Not to say that it's happened to me a few times, and parents do it involuntarily to you when you're a kid. They'll say, you'll ask like something like your parents might be upset with you because it's something that you did, and then you might talk back to them and you'll say, well, why am I getting in trouble? And then your parent might say, because I said so. And that's not really a good answer to give to a child when you are trying to explain to a child something about it being bad that they did. It's important to explain the reason why it is that you did, that you are upset with them and why you're disciplining them, as opposed to just saying because I said so and just hitting them and pushing the child's feelings aside. Because what people don't know is that children internalize those feelings, and when you grow up, those feelings may not be gone either. Those feelings are still whirling around inside you that you had as a kid, as an adult. They still are, unless you deal with those things, okay? So it's very important to learn how to get rid of negative energy. Now, we get negative energy from our parents. Like I said, when you're a child, you get negative energy from your parents. You may get it because your parents don't know any better. Their parents raised them like this, and your parents raised them like this, and then your parents raised them like this. So people are just going along the same trend that their parents did. And it sucks because people get stuck in these um, generational like loops of stuff of bad behavior, and they get looped into it because their parents did it, and they're learning from their parents and their parents and stuff like that, and it goes back. you know so the thing is that people need to be careful about the things that they do, particularly when it comes to a parent disciplining children and not telling their child why it is they're disciplining them. The most important thing you can do, if you have a child, is to, if a child does something bad, a good way to discipline them is just to take something away from them, that they like for a little while, and they'll miss that thing, and you take it away from them. But explain to them why it is that you're disciplining them. Don't just go and take something away from them without them having done something wrong. Don't do that. The best thing you can do is, if your child does something wrong, explain to them, why they're in trouble. And, tell them, that, how to do things better in the future. That's the best thing you can do. Now disciplining them, yes, it's taking something away from them, that they like. But the child can get it back at another time. But the child's not going to misbehave again if they think that they're going to lose something that they like. Everybody has a different opinion on disciplining kids or whatever. That's kind of up to you guys. But, again, when you are a child, and your parents raising you, more likely than not you got negative energy directed at you, and you may not have understood why and stuff like this. And some people think they grow out of this negativity, but it does not happen, not unless you deal with it and you're able to clear out this negative energy, and you know how to do it. Okay, it can be done, but sometimes it's painful to go and deal with that negative energy that's stuck inside of your chakras, inside of your energy bodies and stuff. Sometimes it's tough because that means you have to revisit these memories, and it can be painful for some people. And it certainly takes something where you really have to be ready to deal with it. And I'm not going to say you can clear that energy out in just one day, of course not, because you may have years of negative energy inside you from being a kid. So, thing is that you just have to take it one day at a time, and you have to get advice from someone, who maybe is an energy healer, or somebody who, is a psychic or medium, or somebody who has gifts of the spirit who can help you. Okay, that's one thing. Now, another place you might get negativity as a child could be if you were bullied as a kid, and bullying's not good. It basically puts negative energy inside the child from their childhood, and they may have to work that out when they become an adult. But the energy can be cleared out. I want to say that. But the thing is too, for people to realize, is that we are all walking around with negative energy, whether or not we know it. And even if you clear it out, it's going to come back to you. And a lot of times it's going to come back from other people, okay? And where does it come from with other people? It can come from you having a stressful job, and maybe your boss wants you to move faster, and is about, quantity over quality, and that's the most important thing, So you can have a stressful work environment. There might be other things at work that may stress you out. Maybe you don't like what you do for a living. It's not really a match for you, but you're doing what you can to work because you feel like this is the only way that you're going to be able to make money. So you just take this highest paying job you can, and you work on it even though you hate it. But that negativity can get to you. Another way that work can get to you is if your boss is yelling at you. You know, if you're having a stressful day, you got a whole bunch of customers coming in and calls coming in and stuff like that, and then, everybody's like working really hard, but then, in the heat of the moment, your boss lashes out at you, during the day or whatever, that can really get to you, and it can make you feel bad, and that energy will stay stuck inside of you unless you go and you release it. You can release it through meditations. There are YouTube videos that have like meditation music where you can, meditate and clear out that energy, and you can do it. You can. But just know that, negative energy can come back. It could come back from family members. Maybe you and a family member of yours, frequently has disagreements. Well, that puts negative energy in you, and that can stop you as a spiritual person from, being able to progress forward, because every time you get into an argument with that person, it creates blocks and more blocks and more blocks and stuff like that. And you don't need that on your spiritual journey. You really need to be able to have a, clear amount of eyes and stuff like that. Okay. And you might get negative energy from, I'm trying to think what else. You might get it from friends. You and a friend might disagree about something, or you and your significant other might disagree. Now, this happens a lot, where people will get into it with their significant other. They'll have arguments, about something, or disagreements about something, and that brings out negative energy, and it wells up, because, you feel like the other person doesn't understand you, and you just lash out. And sometimes when you lash out, you'll say things you don't mean to say, because you're angry, and you're just saying whatever you can do to hurt that person, and it's not good to do that. Best thing you can do if you're upset about something, the best thing you can do is, go take a walk. Both of you guys go take a walk. It is so hard to do it, to separate from each other and go do something away from each other. It's hard, but at least if you go take a walk for an hour, when you come back, you can have a clear head. One thing I would say is go and ground yourself. Go to a park, take your your socks off, your shoes off, and put your feet in the grass and just, walk around in the grass. Let your feet walk across the pavement and see how it feels to do that. Now watch out when you're walking, concrete, because, there could be glass, and you want to watch where you're walking. Going for a walk is a good way of doing it. I suggest that when you are away from your significant other, I suggest that you meditate. And you encourage your significant other to meditate as well. Because when you both meditate, you guys can, once you guys come back, you can have cool heads. Now, one thing I want to tell you is having that alone time with yourself is important. Because you get to collect your thoughts and think about what the other person said, But I suggest that you meditate first. First, do a meditation to clear out that negative energy inside. Then spend some time thinking, about what happened. Think about why you were so upset and why you feel the way that you do. And then, then when you feel like you've calmed down, then kind of come back and, you don't have to come back and talk about it, okay? But what you can do is you can, you can give it some time, or you can try to talk about it. But make sure both people are ready to speak first. And sometimes you may have to hold this off. Sometimes you may have to hold off the discussion. But it might be worth it. One good thing to do is, don't be hungry and try to talk about a disagreement, after you come back and have a cool head. Make sure you eat something first. Once you guys are, you eat something, then you're good. I suggest also don't be cranky, don't be tired when you're talking about it either, because, if you're tired, you can have you just may not want to hear it, So for some people, it might be a good idea, to go to sleep. Go to sleep first, and then be refreshed, or you can take a bath. Whatever you can do to relax yourself, that's better. Now, I suggest, if you're upset with your significant other, I will caution you on talking to your family members and friends about it, because they're just going to be there to try to comfort you, and they may not see the other person's point of view, and maybe what your significant other is trying to say to you may be important, and it may be something that you need to hear. Okay, so I think that it's important for you to be comfortable, okay, and to have time to yourself, okay, and try to work things out, with your significant other and stuff like that, and be willing to listen to each other. If you guys are not willing to listen to each other, then maybe you guys should not be together. I hate to say that to people, but sometimes that means that you shouldn't be together. If you guys constantly find yourself arguing and not seeing each other's point of view, sometimes the best thing to do is to split up and find somebody who is better suited for you. If you're in a spiritual journey, it's better for you to have a clear and calm mind and find somebody who's like-minded to you, okay? And somebody who embraces you, and understands you on a level, where you're comfortable and happy, not somebody who's going to be bickering at you back and forth and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that, if you have one disagreement, you should break up with your significant other. Absolutely not. But, the thing is that sometimes it's a good idea to listen to your significant other. Well, I'm not saying sometimes. A lot of the times, it's a good idea to listen to what your significant other says, because sometimes they're saying something that's going to help you grow spiritually, and it could be helpful, or they might be just telling you the truth about who you are, and maybe you may not want to hear it, but it's better for you to hear from somebody who cares about you than somebody who doesn't. I'm a big advocate for people being in a relationship with somebody who really truly likes them, and not being in a relationship with somebody who doesn't like them. But everybody's gonna have their own thing with a relationship, but relationships, I would say, it can negativity can get injected into you from an argument, especially if it's with your significant other. Especially if you guys live together, that's really going to be a head bumper. If you guys live together, and stuff like that. Living together at first is a great idea, but sometime after it, when you guys start arguing and stuff like that, it's not the best idea. And you guys have to find a way to solve that. But that negativity coming from relationship, definitely, clear out that negative energy, and try to find a way not to disagree. Okay. And, I know, because in my relationship, I've had disagreements with my fiance. And, I had to go through a stage of, learning, how to clear that energy out. Because once you clear out that negative energy through meditation, and also grounding yourself and making sure that you feel fulfilled, like you're well rested, you've ate and stuff like that, and the other person's well rested, they ate, they meditated, they're in a cool state of mind, then it's good. Don't do anything in a negative or a mad state. Don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do, because that can really harm your relationship and stuff like that. It's best to, if you're going to face your significant other, it's better to do it when you have a calm and sound mind or whatever. So, yes, guys, that's very important, I think. Negative energy, no matter where it's coming from, whether it's outside of you or it's coming from emotions inside of you, it's important when you feel that energy and you have those emotions, those strong emotions, it's important to deal with it. It's important to get that out of your aura, out of your energy bodies, so you can have a calm and sound mind, so that you can feel okay. I know, I was so stressed out about something from work, like making a mistake at work. I was so stressed out about that, my body got sore and tensed up and everything. And, after I did a meditation to clear out negative energy, chaotic energy, then I felt better. you know. And another good thing to do is to tune your chakras. That's very important, because when you tune your chakras, that helps. That really helps you a lot too. It puts your chakras in line. Instead of them being like this, like zigzag, they are in line. And then you clear that energy out, then, you know, it's like taking a breath of fresh air, you know. It feels good. It's like, you know, clearing out that negative energy. Like, I would say it's equivalent to, like, if you were hot, you know, and it's like 100-degree day or something like that in the summer. It's like going into an air conditioned place where it is just the right temperature and you feel refreshed. Okay, and it could be helpful. Now, it may not be the same for everybody, but I'm just giving an analogy about it. But it's very important to clear out negative energy from out of you, because that negative energy can distract you. Because first it'll start off as, you know, it might be something where you had a sad emotion, but then you'll have these thoughts, negative thoughts come in because you're at that lower vibration. And you don't want to be at that lower vibration, because if you're at a low vibration, like on a level with demons, then, you know, you could get stuck, and you may not be able to rise and do things like you want to do. You know, you won't be able to be at your best when you need to do something. And you know, we all know it's important to be at our best, especially if we have something big coming up, like if we have, you know, maybe for some people it's audition. You know, some people have an audition, like, you know, audition for, like, if they're into acting or singing, or if they're presenting, like, you know, artwork or whatever. Even if you're giving a speech, you need to be at your best. I mean, you need to be at best no matter what, like when you wake up in the morning. Because, you know, when you're at your best, you feel good, and you're at a higher vibration. But you can't be at a high vibration if you're filled with that negative energy. Negative energy feels like something. It actually does. I know, because during my meditations, when I feel it's like so much inside, it's like this. It's like, I really try to describe it like it's just like a bunch of moving energy that is built up, and it's like moving around, like, and stuff like that. I really don't know how to describe it, but it's just something where I can feel that it's too much. But if you've gone through a lot of stressful events, I suggest that you meditate. Meditate, do a meditation is going to clear out that energy. You can do a guided meditation, some people like that. You can do a meditation where, you know, you just have meditation music, and then, you know, you just kind of meditate your own way, and stuff like that. It's really important to do, to meditate by yourself, because then you can, you know, be there present in your thoughts and stuff like that, okay? It's very important and stuff. Now, for some people, I will say that it may be tough for you to meditate, especially if you're a part of organized religion, especially with Christianity, because in Christianity, they forbid people to meditate and to go inside themselves and stuff like that. And so, you know, if you're trying to meditate and do that, that can be pretty tough, because, you know, you would be part of a belief system that basically is all about putting fear into people. And it's something where, you know, the best things don't come out of you when you are a part of, like, Christianity. I know, because I used to be a Christian, and good things don't necessarily come from Christianity, even though they try to make it seem like great things, like with Jesus. Even though they try to make it seem like that, it's not. If you were to sit down and read the Bible, you know, and you'd understand and stuff like this. And this is the reason why a lot of people are starting to wake up and be aware of things with relation to Christianity and other, I don't know, more likely with Christianity. I'm not going to say other religions, but Christianity especially, because they understand the truth about it, because they've read the text, the spiritual text. Well, they've read the text of the Bible, okay? And they've read it, and they have discovered the truth about it. The Bible does have an ugly truth. It has an ugly shadow attached to it, but, you know, everybody comes to, you know, different things at their, you know, at the right time, at their own path, you know, and, you know, some lessons are harder to learn than others, and, you know, you can overcome things, and learning a lesson is not a bad thing, to learn lessons in life, because it can help you grow spiritually and be better and stuff. So, yes, I talked about negative energy today, or chaotic energy, because it happened to me recently. And, I meditate to clear out negative energy. And I know my negative energy is high, because I would have had a lot of stressful things, and I will feel like lashing out at people. Um, and, I'll easily get annoyed and stuff like that. And with that energy swirling around, it makes you more likely to be negative rather than positive and stuff like that. Is it a journey to start seeing things as positive? Absolutely. If you also used to be negative, yes, but you can do it. Okay, there is nothing wrong with getting on the path and learning how to be better. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, and anybody can experience negativity coming from inside or outside. Doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter what age you are, doesn't matter how much money you have. you know Ultimately you're going to experience negativity in some shape or form, and the best thing to do is to know how to deal with it so that you can make the most of your life experiences and be able to move through your spiritual journey. So, thank you guys for watching this video on negative energy and chaos. And I hope the tips and the advice I gave you in here is enough to help you guys out. Bye bye.